Dating relationship has changed dramatically. And for order to use that lens is you have to be in the sociology lens. Now, if you look in the past, place time experience from hunter-gatherer society all the way to now, we live in technological, which soon to be later called AI technology, society. Now, if we look back, how did we went from Tinder to marriage survival? Because if you look back in time from hunter-gatherer society, you're more living in a tribe, all right? We're more living in a tribe where people trained to marry the best of the best, or trained to be the best, or to marry to be the best, which called hypergamy, all right? Back then, it wasn't required any money. Back then, it was just whatever what's in the nature and gathered from the nature. The sea, the water, the rivers, the trees, the land, the animals, the plants, the berries, the juice. It's oftentimes that you've been trained and you pass down to generations where your lifespan could not barely exceed to 40 or 50. So let's look at the hunter-gatherer. The hunter-gatherer, as I mentioned before, is all about survival, marriage. And to be with the relationship, there's no exception. You being arranged. Usually hypergamy dates with a hypergamy to be in a relationship, to be strong. It's all about providing the best of the whole tribe. Usually is providing the whole tribe to order to survive, to sustain, to live. If you live in a bigger tribe, you tend to have more manpower or more woman power. Ones can do the hunting. It's a lot more efficient. More brains, more hands. As now you guys may watch a lot of YouTube videos, who's also trending is about the hunter-gatherer primitive technology, which is a big hit, where you see people how they hunt or how they use methods on how to build shelters and things like that. Now let's move on to agriculture. Agriculture is where tribal, this is where form of money has introduced mainly. You work for the money. You build stocks, you raise stocks, you build and you raise livestock, and all goods are being made by hand or things like that. Then whether you export or you supply to your local neighborhoods. During this time, your scope of relationship is within the local suburb. During that time, you don't have efficient having cars or bicycle, where it's still very, very expensive. Therefore, dating within your local, you find a compatible boy or compatible girl, you get married at a young age. Same with hunter-gatherer society as well. And it's all about survival, the marriage, where we do not have the technology with where the medication can cure everything. During that time, you have religion, religion, to state when you're going to get better and heal you better with holy touch. Then we shifted from big family groups and big tribes into huge family extended group to industrial revolution. When you hit to industrial revolution, that's where cars and phones, and that's when you started to date outside of your local scope. But also you were dating or in a relationship or marriage, either arranged or not. It was for survival. It was the breadwinner to bringing the food back home and the money, the wealth, and things like that. You chuck your extended family back into where you call their hometown or things like that, or their village, where you provide money or resources for entire family. That was the Industrial Revolution. That's when you can start dating and you start knocking on people's doors and asking your daughter or the son out to go out. You see, that's like more of humanistic approach when you do that. Now we head to technological, where we have a laptop, we can have a phone, you can date anywhere, anytime around the world, and you just hope for the best that they respond or reply. You got Tinder, you got everything. Religion in most of the first world country is not as strong. Therefore, it's more of professions where they're controlling, where there's lawmakers and things like that. It was more of professional profession to run the society and what's good and what's bad. Where a lot of third world countries are still having religion runs the power. Where you have the Islamic culture is still very strong fairly at the moment. Where you have Philippines, the Catholics, you cannot have divorces. And Ireland just passed through recently for saying yes abortion, where before there was no abortion in Ireland. And you know, there's community who has strong religion still plays a huge role. But now the Western world, the ones on the top of the list, unfortunately, we've kind of lost out the religion and we let the professional profession has run the society, what's best and what's good. There's no shame, and I forgot to mention, on agriculture, industrial, and hunter gatherer, divorce wasn't an option. It's either one of your partner passed away by terminal illness or during war, it's acceptable. But being a single parenting or being a lonely lady who is unmarried, especially in their early 20s, they seem as sicker and weirdo. And this is mainly towards to women and also to men as well. But now we're living in this technological era where there's not a huge shame upon. There's still more peer pressure on the woman side, the girl side, than the guy side, where our guys, we live in a society where we can live up to more than 80 years old. There we have advancement of medication can prolong our survival. We no longer need one or the each other to survive in a daily basis. Where back then you do have to. Now we have this men and women can work. Now we have this whole thing of the equality. And now we have this whole thing of power and laws, divorces, and government on behind. If you get divorced, it's all right. The government will look after your kids and pay you some money. So that is the whole lifespan of going through. And that's why we enter this Tinder stage where we do not stone to death those who on Tinder or just go on a fling or simply just boyfriend or girlfriend. So you see, this how much we have gone through. And hypergamy is not highly as valued as before. As we've got TV shows, dating shows, or marriage at first sight has demonstrated how failure it is at the moment. Bachelor shows and things like that, where a guy choose 20 women, where a girl choose 20 men, and Chinese dating show, the most popular, if you're the only one, where one guy has to choose from 20 girls and seek for approval. It's gone to the madness stage. So this is very interesting. And this is where individualism has a very strong influence, where back then it's all about collectivism. So therefore, that's why I said this is how we evolve in dating, relationship, and marriage.